So I was a pizza delivery driver between the end of 2015, like November, December, till about July of 2017. So I didn't work during the pandemic, obviously, but when I was working there, I was making $6 an hour as like an hourly wage, with the minimum wage up here being just the same as the federal at 7.25. So as long as I was making more than that, they didn't have to like add any more to my paycheck without, they could get away with basically all of that. And there was a time during during the winter, fall, and spring months, like when it's not quite as nice out and it's raining more and snowing, like that's when I'm making the most money off of it. That's when I was pulling in like anywhere from 17 to $20 an hour, when you count like all the tips and like the tip between tips, delivery fees, and the check itself. But come summertime, when the weather got nicer, the tips would take a nosedive immediately. And that's actually, it happens the opposite way for servers. From my experience, is like when the weather's nicer out, people are more likely to come into the restaurant and less likely to order out. So my tips take a nosedive. And the thing is, rent doesn't change by the season. Neither does, neither does food or electricity or any of that. And, even beyond just like the sub minimum wage, once you hit overtime at the place that I worked, they took you off the clock, and rather than giving you the time and a half, they would just pay you the same wage just under the table to get around paying for overtime. And I'm pretty sure to get around paying for some benefits too. They're also pretty misogynist there in their hiring practices. They didn't have any women working in the kitchen, and they didn't have any men working as cashiers or as waiters or any of that. There's something else that I just had it in my head and it ran away from me.
That's okay.
Oh yeah, it basically the whole restaurant's basically like a locker room where like racism, sexism, homophobia, all that stuff's rampant there. Like it's very like, it's like toxic masculinity, just like concentrated and like purified. That's kind of what this restaurant was like to work at. So I think in the whole time I was working there was like one person of color, and they heard the N-word get thrown around the first day they were there, and ended up leaving pretty soon after that, just because unfortunately, it's not even the restaurant. In the whole state, the racism is just really casual around here. It's unfortunate, but yeah, the main reason that I left the industry was because I got tired of working 12-hour days, which, a lot of people I know in the industry, it's the same story, usually 12-hour days, maybe 4 days a week, maybe 5 days a week. I knew people that were clocking like 80 hours a week. And a lot of it was just because that was the only way they could afford to live. And when you're surviving just off of like tips plus $6 an hour, like, and I mean, like, there's been times in my life where I've made $15 just as like a flat wage, and I still could barely pay for rent. So like, but yeah, that's all I have to say about that.